Salutations! Welcome back to the Stitchergirl Podcast. This is Flosstube, episode 20, and I'm Julia, the Stitcher Girl. Oh my goodness, it has been a hot minute. I've been on a bit of a Flosstube sabbatical, and that sabbatical went a little longer than I had anticipated, and now I have all this stuff to show, and it's slightly overwhelming. But my two stitching assistants are with me. Cherub and Wellington are here, so they might pop up, or you just might hear them chirping in the background because Wellington likes to talk. So I thought I'd start off with just a little needle worker tag because it's been a while since I've been on here, and plus I have some new subscribers. So I thought I would just tell you a little bit about me. So like I said, my name is Julia. I was born in Montreal and I was raised in Montreal, but I now currently live in a town called Riverview, which is just across the Pettit-Kodiak River from Moncton, New Brunswick, which is a maritime province on the Atlantic seaboard of Canada. So that's where I am. I am a licensed practical nurse. So this past, it's been more than a year now, has been very interesting to be working in healthcare during a pandemic. And I have not worked, rather I haven't taken care of anyone or know of anyone who's had COVID. But it is a real present danger at all times, and so that has made it very stressful. You're scared you're going to pick it up somewheres and then pass it on to either your family or your residents. So it's been a long, long year. So my heart goes out to all of those who have been afflicted with COVID, who've been sick, who've lost loved ones, who are working in healthcare right now. It's just been one hell of a time. So I'm thinking of you all, and do take care of yourselves. Ontario right now in Canada is really suffering, and my best advice to you would be to stay home if you can, and get yourselves an N95 mask if you don't already have one. Very important. Those little surgical masks, no, we're beyond that now in Ontario. You need an N95. And I don't say that to scare you. I just say that to, that's just my opinion. You could disregard me altogether, but I think it would be a good step. It's proactive. Let's put it that way. I like to be proactive when it comes to my healthcare. So that's my job. How long have I been stitching? Well, I know I've been doing it since before I was 10 years old, and I'm kind of near 50 now, so it's been a while. My favorite TV show, okay, if you follow me on Instagram, you probably know this already, but it's obviously the Gilmore Girls. Favorite needlework things. So I will stitch on any fabric, Aida, Lugana, Joblin, Hardanger, linen. But lately, my fabric of choice has been 40 count linen, and I am a 40 count diva. And I don't apologize for that. I also love over-dyed cottons. So that means Gentle Arts, Classic Colorworks, Week Dye Works, whatever I can get my hands on that look over-dyed or have some variegation to them. Even the DMC variations. I enjoy those types of threads to work with. I do prefer the 1/1. I have some projects right now that I'm trying to finish because they're 2/2 and they're driving me insane. I like bow and needles. Those are my jam. I like to use a hoop. And I tried stitching in hand once, and that went nowhere as fast. And I think it's, I probably would get the hang of it with time. But I feel like I don't have a lot of extra time right now, so I'm just going to keep with my hoop. And my favorite designer, my favorite cross-stitch designer, well, it's really hard to pick just one. But as I go through my whips, you will see that there definitely is one that stands out, and that is Barbara Anna. She is glorious. I enjoy her work tremendously. So there's my introduction. So I thought that I haven't filmed since just before Christmas. And I was feeling slightly overwhelmed about how I was going to approach this Flosstube today because it has been so long. But let me just introduce my new hair, because I'm sure those of you who've watched before, they're like, is that really Julia? Is that Julia? Yes, it is. I had like about this much cut off, and I've had about an inch grow back in. I got it cut in February. I said, that's it. That's all. I'm not dyeing anymore. I am embracing my natural colors. So I am 52 shades of gray right now, and some red, but that's fine. I'm happy with that. And yeah, so that's a big change. I got my hair cut, and I'm not dyeing my hair anymore because I'd rather spend my money at the spa or the stitching store. So there you go. So because I had so much that it's been so long and I was feeling overwhelmed, I thought I would just focus first on my WIPGO projects. And WIPGO is something that was created by Jessie Marie Does Stuff. There's a Facebook group, and it's kind of like a bingo card, and you had to pick like 24 or 25 projects. You could have a free center square if you wanted, and each month she rolls the dice, lets us know what the numbers are for the next month. So for January, the numbers called were 6, 13, and 18. So 6 is Eliza Poole by Stacy Nash. And these are my sexy project bags that I get from the Dollarama here in Canada. They're zippered bags, they're mesh. They really serve my need. So here we go. Eliza Poole by Stacy Nash. And as I'm sure many of you know, Stacy Nash now is selling PDFs on her Etsy shop. And this one, you can find it there as a PDF. Now, I'm doing this on Ale, Picture This Plus. I'm using a variety of the called fors and my own color conversions because that's what I do. I'm always changing colors. And I didn't have a goal per se for the month for these WIPGO projects. I think ideally I wanted to spend 7 days per project, and then I found when I got to February that wasn't going to work anymore. But for January I did stitch 7 days on this project. Now the kicker with this one is I'm doing it 1/1 on 28 count. So yeah, a bit crazy. I still don't have that big white house finish for those of you who've been following me, but it's coming. Now my plan for, oh yeah, it's been a while since I've done this. So my plan, yeah, was to come down here so I could do this border along here and come back up again. So then I could cut my fabric. because this is a fat quarter and it's quite unwieldy. So the new that I did was here, here, and all this. I'm thinking, did I do the fence too? I think the fence I did as well. There are these WIPGO weekends where you can kind of, you could have a goal for that weekend, kind of like the 24 hours of cross stitch idea. And I think I said 300 stitches. So when you're doing 1/1, that's a lot of stitches, right? And I think this whole gate was 300. Crazy. But it looks fabulous. I'm really happy with it. This is Country Redwood down here at the bottom, this beautiful red color. And then I didn't like the color idea here for the greenery. I think it was supposed to be, was it apple cider? No, apple cider's not even here. I think maybe it was endive. But what did I go with? I'll tell you what I went with. It was a weird one that I had in my stash. It's Dragonfly. Dragonfly, it had green and brown in it. And I'm trying just to use the threads that are mostly brown, because that green, it goes very light, like a DMC 502, 503. And I didn't want that in there. So that's Eliza Pool. So I was happy with that. I'm just going to kind of tidy as I go along. Then Eliza Pool. And then Block 13. For me, I decided it would be a new start. And I've been quite besotted with Brenda Gervais' Winter Rose Manor. And so I got that chart before Christmas. I decided I was going to do it on some natural raw Zweigart. And I'm doing, like I always do, a mixture of overdyed cottons. It kind of depends on what I can find locally or what I can find at my usual online sellers. Or I just, go for my stash too. So, Winter Rose Manor, for those of you who've been living under a rock, this is what it looks like. Those beautiful cardinals. And you probably watched them already, but Lori Holt has done this. Celeste has done this. Celeste Creates. And Lisa Smith. Kindred Stitching. Anyways, you know who these people are because everybody watches them already. They have finished theirs and they're beautiful. So this is where I am, and I kind of apologize, and I'm not apologizing for not ironing because it just doesn't fit into my schedule. So this is where I am already. I did work on it a bit today, getting up there, because I want to get back to this house. And I'll tell you some of my colors. I have them on a lovely little floss ring here, a la Nicole needlework. And so that house, I'm doing it in clover, which is what Leslie Hurley was doing. And, I think it looks really nice on this fabric. And then for some of the reds, I'm using Manor Red, which I love. That's Classic Colorworks. And the clover is Gentle Arts. By the way, the Manor Red is Classic Colorworks, and I consider that an excellent substitute for Gentle Arts Country Redwood if you can't find it. I find it's very difficult to find right now. So Manor Red I've been using Wild Berries by Classic Colorworks. I got Holly Berry from the Gentle Arts and Rhubarb from Gentle Arts. And I'm going to be doing, I'm I'm going to be modifying my female cardinal a bit, so she's more red. And I'm going to use some rhubarb in there, because she's very putty colored, which is the color I think. And then I'm using bayberry for one of my greens and cucumber for one of my greens. Those are both Gentle Arts, and I'm using those instead of, I think, Olive and Oscar, which are Weeks. So I'm going with some brighter bluer green colors. And then, what else am I using that's interesting? Well, I think that's a bit about it for now. I think the white, I was playing with white today to see which white color I wanted to use. And that is 3665 DMC. And I think that's going to be white enough. I don't know if it's white enough, though, for the curtains in the house. But I think it's going to be white enough for the front lawn here. And I think it'll be fine up above this vase. But where it's in isolation, I might have to go like a brighter white. But anyways, I'm really happy with that. And yeah, very happy. And it's one that I see, it pops up in my Instagram feed all the time, and I want to get back to it. This is the type of hoop that I like to use. It's a spring hoop. You pinch it and then it slides in. This is a very small hoop, but it's the type that I like to work with. Now, block 18 was MK Guernsey Girl by Mill and the Floss Samplers. Michelle is in France. Lovely lady. Some lovely samplers. You should go check her out. Now this is, it's an almost fully finished. I found a frame. And I mean, are you sitting down? Please tell me you're sitting down, because I can't be held responsible for anybody who fakes long distance from me, okay? Okay, you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, everybody. I'm so excited. So this is MK Guernsey Girl. Oh my God. Here she is. Can you see her? Now I'm going to come in a bit so you can see the frame. There's like little flowers. Just stunning. I love it. Okay, so the details. The frame came from my local L&S, the Stitch Bug. And yes, that's how much it cost. That's Canadian. And it came with like glass, and it's got the foam core in it. And it's a 9x9. And it's K&B Crafts. And they're not far from here. And a lot of people go there in the Moncton area to get their pieces stitched, rather framed. And the local L&S has some of these ready-made frames. Pret-a-porter frames, I like to say. Pret-a-porter frames. And so I saw this the other day, and I'm like, oh my God, this is perfect. Because I need one that's kind of a square shaped. And I have some other pieces that are like square shaped. So that was pretty exciting. So some of the details. I have changed MK around a bit. Because if you have this chart, you'll read Michelle's intro. There was some damage to this chart. And so the provenance has been, I think it's not, you know, it had MK on it. That's it. It didn't have a date. She said there were motifs that made her think it came from the Guernsey Islands. Those are those Channel Islands between France and England. I think she added the rooster because there was a hole in the linen, and up here where there was an M and a K, it wasn't quite clear if it was an M or a K. So I changed it to EB for Elizabeth Bennet because I'm a Jane Austen fan and I love Elizabeth Bennet. And when I talk about Elizabeth Bennet, I'm talking about the Keira Knightley Elizabeth Bennet, that one with Matthew McFadden. So yeah, I love Colin Firth, but you know, whatever. So I made this Lizzie because if you've seen that movie and that home that they lived in and how there are all these farm animals kind of milling about the home, I always kind of thought, oh, I could see Lizzie out there feeding chickens or whatever, you know. So that's what I did. I gave her her bun because buns rock. And I did change up some of the colors. Now let me just tell you, because I still have my palette here. She had DMC. Can you hear the cats? Oh my Lord, they're so excited. So I'm going to do it this way. I used Grape Leaf from Gentle Arts. I used Grecian Gold from Gentle Arts. I used some Schoolhouse Red, Gentle Arts. I used Deep Sea from Gentle Arts. And Picnic Basket from Gentle Arts. I had her dress is done in an overdyed cotton by hand dyed by Rolanda. And I call that like a raspberry color. And if you were here with me right now, you would say, oh, I can see the variegation. Very nice. And I believe the DMC color for like these bluebells was like 501, 502. But I wanted it to look like the picture. So I used DMC 932. So yeah, I left out one of the chickens because it was levitating and it was kind of weird. So I just added some grains falling out of the basket. I love these tulips. They're just, and that rooster, I'm telling you, cock-a-doodle-doo. Woo! I love that rooster. So yeah, EB Elizabeth Bennet. This is MK Guernsey Girl. This frame is the bomb, and I'm so happy with that. And yeah, so that was January. February. Number 4 or number 20 were called. So number 4 is Sadie Woods. Barbara Anna Decides. Big surprise, right? I love this one. It's such a rustic, naive, folksy looking sampler. It was done on an uneven Osnaburg, so the linen count horizontally and vertically are not even. So that's why it looks like a rectangle, and you'll see mine looks more square. This again is on raw linen. Oh my God, Julie, you should really iron every now and again. And I'm using, there's not much left. There really isn't. I'm dragging my butt here. I was hoping to get a finish in February, but February is a short month. I ran out of days. And this is when I decided I was going to go do 5 days was my goal. 5 days a month for my WIPGO projects instead of 7. And I had one color change because I wanted it to look like the picture. I can't remember now what it was supposed to be, but I changed it to 926. So if you could see the blue in there, yeah, I really wanted it to look like the picture. I'm really getting a workout here. So yes, I was really happy with that. That was fun, and I just kind of need to buckle down. And, you know, I always feel like I got Laura on one shoulder and Brenda on the other, and Brenda's going, why isn't that got finished, but in a very nice way. And then I got Laura on the side going, I know, just do it already, okay? Like, finish it. And then you can do something else. So, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. So, yeah. So, that's lovely. And then the other one is light. This was a freebie. Block 20. This was a freebie from Barbara Anna last year when we were in lockdown. The Be Well and Stitch freebies that everybody was, all the lovely designers were putting out there for everybody. This is on Dwarf Picture This Plus. I think it's 32 count. And I know, it looks like I haven't done anything on this, but actually I kind of completed more of the bow here. The bow. And I filled in more leaves and berries. I don't know if I'm going to do that, coat that color. I keep changing my mind. Something about it is not floating my boat. And I think I'm using all the called fors. Well, I'm not using these mauvey called fors, that's for sure, because I didn't think they looked right on this fabric. But, excuse me, I'm drinking Zero Coke. This is how old this is, Needle Necessities, but you know that's Threadworks nowadays. That's what I was using for the coat. I mean, I still might do it. I think I'm going to stitch it differently. It's number 183. Wow, I've had that for a long time. So yeah, so that was that. That was February WIPGO. March WIPGO. Numbers 10 and 24. Number 10 is Gratitude. And this kind of ties in nicely with Stitch Asia, because the designer is Asian. Cottage Garden. Somebody just finished this on Instagram. I think it was Dee Stitches. Just beautiful. This was my Lenten project last year, except I think I got tired of it before Lent was over. Those 40 days are long in Lent, let me tell you. And I think I just said, I need a break. Not a very good, I don't know what the word is, devotee. So this is on platinum. This is 40 count. No, this is 36 count. This is 36 count. And this is where I am. Hi, Welly. So what I did was this rose. I came down here, this vine. I did that little rosebud. And I did this outline of the basket. Hi, Welly. And in some places, I've used 2 threads. Here, for the head of that bird, I used, because I wanted that black to really pop. So I was kind of experimenting a bit here, because, you know, the old dilemma, 2 threads over 2 on 36, it's too tight. 1 over 36 is maybe not the best coverage. So I'm experimenting here and doing a combo, and I'm quite happy with it. As much as I love this piece, this is more about maybe a critique of the chart without showing it, but one thing about the chart was it's a colored chart. And so let me put it this way. The greens. Guacamole Weeks. Oscar Weeks. Now for me, Oscar is darker than guacamole. but the colors used on the chart, the guacamole green was darker green than the Oscar. It was a lighter green. So there have been times, so that's just one example. There have been times when I've been charting and I've gotten my greens mixed up. I know I got my browns mixed up in my bird, but the bird still looks very cool nonetheless. So I know some people write the symbols right on their threads. So then, this was before I was putting things on floss drops. Okay, like, bag full of hot mess here. Woo, look at that. Anyways, it's organized chaos. I know some people put the thread symbol on their floss tags to help keep everything straight. And maybe if I'd done a black and white, obviously a black and white photocopy, well, not necessarily, I guess, but if I'd done a photocopy of the chart, maybe it would have been easier for me. But at times I got a little confused. Hi, did you want to say hi? Yeah, well, get up here, baby. Shake a leg, shake a leg, shake a leg. Okay, so March number 24. The snooty parrots, like, hello. Look at that. Look at that chart. That is Barbara Anna Magnificence right there, people. I am doing this on 40 count vellum. Picture this plus. I've tried to use most of the oh, sorry, I'm crinkling, eh? Hang on a second. Get yourselves a drink. I'm trying to use most of the gentle arts, but I think there's been some lots changes since the chart first came out. What year? 2013, yeah, so we're talking 8 years ago. So some of the die lots have changed a bit. So instead of using cranberry by Gentle Arts, I'm using claret. Instead of using rhubarb, I'm using poinsettia. So let's see what I've done so far. This I started in October. Debbie of Creatively Yours was having a birthday sale. And I said, I have to get this started. What better way than to celebrate Debbie, work on one of my favorite designers. So let's see what I've got here. Now vellum is quite light. This is a much lighter, I think, fabric than what was called for. I think it was vintage exemplar lakeside linen, and I can't get hold of any lakeside linen. You have to, I think, have shares in the company to get any lakeside linen. It's so hard to find. And it's always the colors, eh? Like certain colors, you can't find them. So I finished the green band and then the numbers. Here, let me do this for a second. Make it easier. So here in the month, so I finished, it came across here. I finished the letters and the numbers across. And then here, I finished my basket. This stag and this little lion cat. And yeah, so I'm using most of the Gentle Arts. I've been making a few substitutions. I'm using one of the DMC variations, the greens, for that border. I don't know how well you could see it here, but this one is a nice mixture of what I would say yellow greens and bright like Kelly greens, which is nice for a border. So I'm really happy with that. Let's look at this again now because it's just awesome. Beautiful. That vase was a beast. Much bigger than you would think. There's some other people working on it as well. So I told you Debbie, Creatively Yours, Stacy, Stitchy 911, Alice. Hi, Alice. Alice is Honeybee Stitcher, I think, on Instagram. And then Julie, Kansas City Girl in a Colorado World. And the Dynamo, Betsy Klager is doing it as well. So, good fun. Good fun. So, that was March WIPGO. April WIPGO. Number block 3 and block 21. Well, block 3 I haven't touched yet. I thought I had them all unzipped. This is the Scotland Quaker. This was something, it was a mystery last year. This is put out by Tempting Tangles. And each couple of weeks, a part was released on the Facebook group. And I was doing okay in the beginning, and then I kind of, squirrel situation happened in my life. This is on 28 Fog. Picture this plus. It is a Lugana this time. And this is where I am so far. I mean, I haven't done anything that different. I really should just buckle down and fill in that bagpipes. And yeah, so I got to get back to that this month. I got to try and spend 5 days on it. I find with the WIPGO, what's been kind of cool is I've been kind of falling back in love with these projects. And that's been a lot of fun. It's like, what do you mean the month is over? And then, yeah. So, and a forest screw is a beast. But it's not as big as I once thought it was, because now I've been working on projects that are much bigger. And now this looks kind of small. Perception is hilarious. So, I have worked a bit on this. It is, what can I say? It's enjoyable, but you know, sooner get started and it's time to change colors. And that is a bit of a pain in the butt. But that is kind of, I guess, the magic, the beauty of this piece. This is 40 count platinum Zweigart. And so this is page 1. I don't know what page this is, but it's directly below it. This is where there's supposed to be a wolf down here. So I decided to do top to bottom instead of all the way across and then back again. So what I did so far is I've done that tree, this tree, and this one. And I still have some back stitching to do. Some of the birds and that, I haven't done it. But, you know, and I'm going to be changing the sayings. And this, when I first came back to cross stitch, I think I was watching Amy Loves Toads, and she was working on this piece. And I'm like, I have to do that. I have to do that piece. It's a Rosewood Manor, Karen Kluba. And I know a lot of people have done it. There is a Facebook group. There was a Sal started last year. I started mine on Earth Day last April. So I plan on working on it again this Earth Day, which is going to be very soon. And I've got all the, like, look. I've got floss. This is all DMC. DMC. And more DMC. I mean, it is a beast. There's probably at least 100 colors, if not more. And I don't think I have them all yet. It's funny because just when you think you have them all and then you go to stitch, you can't. You don't have the color. How's that possible? Annoying. So, that was that. Oh my goodness, we're doing well for time, I guess. I hope you've you brought your stitching. You're sitting in a comfortable chair. You have your favorite drink. And I'm just going to have a little swig here. Oh my. So, when I last filmed, it was the end of December. And so, I had a few things I was working on. I was hoping to pull out a finish on at least one of these projects. And it didn't happen on one, but it happened on another one. So that was kind of cool. So I got to finish at the end of the year. Now, you may remember I've been working on Peacock Cipher by Just Nan. And this is one too I feel like Brenda would be like, get it done in a nice way. So this is where I am. I think I thought, you know, oh, let's put a push on and see what we can do. Yeah, I said forget it. But that is, so I'm here. I got as far as here. So there's still this big band at the bottom. Yeah, and I was a little, if you remember me saying I'd already stitched in 2020, and I'm like, ooh, crap. But I'm just living with it. And I'm using the lovely, the variations here. This is 4025, the lovely teal one. And I'm using the dark DMC just for the numbers, or rather the letters. So I didn't get a finish on that, but I did get a finish on this. And this is, oh, Flosstube itchy nose syndrome. I don't know where the chart is right now. I put it in a safe place. But this is the Yule Queen by the Primitive Hair. A lot of people have stitched this. Here we go. So I got this finished. And I did change out the colors. This is like a raw, natural linen with iridescent, sparkly stuff in it. And it was supposed to be, I think, 2 kinds of gray in the dress. But I used Shutter Green from Gentle Arts because there's a bit of a green fleck in that iridescent in the fabric. So I like that look. And then I guess it made it a little more Christmassy. And I changed out the Yule Queen. I made that a dark green. And I've got some cardinals and the snowflakes. And I gave her boots, or him boots. It's all good. So that needs to be framed. I think that's 28 count. And that was like 2 threads over 2. And I was like, oh. So I'm trying to get rid of those 2 over 2 projects. Welly? You okay, Welly? You okay? Why don't you come have a seat? Join the party. Come, join the party. Come on. Oh, it's a good babe. Yeah? You okay? Do you want to come over here? Come over here and see me. Come here. Yeah. Look this way. Look this way. Can you look this way? Can you look this way? Look over here. Oh yeah, we love our mommy. We love our mommy. Okay, he's laying down now. Oh no, you're getting up? Okay, do whatever makes you happy. So Yule Queen was finished in December. Then I did have a Christmas Day start. And this was the Margaret Ann Rollo sampler that was reproduced by Just Stitching Along, and it was available through off the grid needle arts girl, Miss Evertote Caroline, Miss Margaret Ann Rollo. So I did start it on Christmas Day. I did change up some of the colors. That's a bit of a refrain, don't you think? Now I'm using it on a piece of Victorian motto fabric that I have, and I believe it's called Old Colonial. So it's very mottled. There we go. And that's where I think I started Christmas Day and maybe Boxing Day. I stitched a bit. That's as far as I got. It is on my WIPGO board. And I know some people don't like that look where the alphabets are a little ghosty. They kind of really blend in, but I'm kind of doing mine so it looks like exactly like the picture. So there are numbers here, but I don't think you can see them because it blends in really well with the fabric. Anyways, I'm leaving it like that. I think I'm using most of the DMC, but I did have some roasted marshmallow that had a really nice, it has a lot of that roasted marshmallow look, that caramelized color. So I'm using that in there, and I'm using the Tutti Frutti by Gentle Arts for the really bright blue down here. And yeah, I think 816, is it 816 I'm using for the cranberry color, and 760 for the lighter pink. And I'm happy with that. One just little sidebar, because I'm good for sidebars, is this Victorian Motto linen. I had signed up for the linen club, and then I had added on the flosses. This is only one of 2 pieces I ever received. I actually put in a dispute with PayPal, and I got refunded for all the other money that I had spent because I had not been receiving any communication from them. And it's been very frustrating, I think, for a lot of us. And I think Michelle from Mama Loves You GB got it right when she said, you know, you may not be able to control your stock in a pandemic, but you can definitely control how you treat your customers. So that's my sidebar on Victorian Motto. So what else did I do in January? These ones I started, but there isn't really much to show. This is the Hello from Liz Matthews freebie. And it's called Hope. And I think I stitched on it during the American inaugural, you see, it doesn't happen in Canada, so I can't pronounce it. Inauguration Day for Joe Biden, and I'm doing it 1/1. I can't even tell you, I don't think. It's a variegated floss. It's a variegated overdyed thread. and it's a mystery linen. I think it's a, no, I think this is Lugana. I don't know the color, but it's a Picture This Plus, that's for sure. So I was fiddling with that. February. Oh my God, things got very exciting in February. This is when Barbara Anna released her Dreaming Girl Sal. And you know, you can go to the Creative Poppy website, sign up for the stitch along, and then each couple of weeks or whatever you download the pattern, and then after a certain amount of time it's not available anymore, and then you can buy it as a full pattern. So that is here. I did order special that blue azure fabric, 32 count, and I'll show you what I've got done so far, because I got a little overwhelmed in the beginning, because once again, this is something I'm doing 2/2. Not my jam, but it looks amazing. Now, I've already made some color changes, but this is what I have so far. And that face is just, I can't even tell you, like perfection. Absolutely perfection. Now, the hair colors are different. The flowers are going to be different. I'm going to be changing up the colors as I go along. I do have the palette, the basic palette, but I'm Julia and I do my own thing. Now, because of the 2/2 that drives me insane, I said, I got to look at the sulkies. So at my LNS, they had sulkies, and can you see those three? There's a gold, yellowy, orange one, a purpley, pinky one, and then a pinky one. And I'm going to be using those on this to kind of save me, my brain, my sanity. And already I did a purple flower here using that purple. This is what the gold is going to look like. There's a lot of acorns hanging along here in the hair. So I like that. And then this pink. So this is just stunning. Stunning, stunning, stunning. I can't even, like, gobsmacked stunning. The motifs in the hair, I'm doing them, I think it's DMC2. Because as you can see, I very much got like a Barbara Anna hairdo going on here. I got some DMC2. And this is, I don't know, 7 something. But I thought, hey, this kind of is like my hair. My hair is going through a metamorphosis. And so my Dreaming Girl is going to have hair like that too. So there you go. Dreaming Girl. Now, February was the 1-year anniversary since my uncle passed away. And at his funeral, they sang the song, His Eye is on the Sparrow. So, I decided to start His Eye is on the Sparrow in February. Now, if you don't know what that is, because you've been living under a rock, this is what it looks like. So this is like twice the size of End of Forest Screw. So End of Forest Screw looks small now because I'm working on this. Oh my goodness. Now, this is something I've really enjoyed stitching on. I'm doing it on Vintage Country Mocha, which looks like this. You know, that's the Zweigart. It's printed, so it looks hand-dyed with that modeling. And I'm doing it on that. I'm using most of the cottons, the overdyeds, the Gentle Arts, the Weeks. But because I'm Julia, I make modifications. Like caramel corn is very different right now. It's very yellow. And if you look at the DMC conversion that is suggested, it looks more like a tanny color. Like, is it 612, 610? Where's the car? Oh, 842. I don't know what that is. 842. It looks nothing like the current skein that I have. It's incredibly yellow, and I wasn't having a yellow house. It's very yellow. Can you see how yellow that is? And so I didn't want that. And oh God, I've just got like bundles of colors here. So let me just show you, because I've had an accident. I'm 6 linen threads too low. My house is too low. And I've been a little upset about this. I don't know what I'm going to do, but let's see where we're at here. So this is where I'm at so far. Here, that peacock is amazing. Now, as you come across, you see that house? The house is too low because I made a mistake in the cartouche. That greenery that goes around above it. The greenery here that goes around above the house. I somehow got off, so the house is lower. And so when I do my band across where the writing goes, we have a collision, a big collision. So I was so when I figured that out. But now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out the band and move it down those 6 linen threads and keep my house where it is, because I've got more stitching done in the house than I do in this. So I'm going to move the band down, and I don't think it's really going to upset the design very much. It might mean the stitch count is off a little bit, but downwards, but I don't think that's that big of a deal. Let me see. It is, the stitch count is 433 by 361. So that means instead of it being 361, it's going to be 364. That's really not going to affect any framing or anything. So I think that's what I'm going to do. But let's look at the peacock again, shall we? Brethren blue is always a winner. Oh my God. Now the house, I'm making a purple house, you might have noticed, because purple is running through my veins. This is an old dye lot of Williamsburg blue that my mother had in her stash. And I'm like, what are you doing with that? I'm taking that home with me. And it looks more purple than blue. So I wanted to have a purple house. So I think the main house is going to be purple. And on either side of it, I might do like a light brown house or whatever that caramel corn color is in DMC, and do it like that. But yeah, I think I've kind of turned a corner on that. I'm not as mad at this piece now. I think it's going to be able to come out of timeout soon. And because I do like picking it up every so often and stitching a motif here and there. And I would like to do the Consider the Lilies afterwards. So yeah, so that piece doesn't scare me though. Like, you know, when I started Anna Forrest Grew, I was like overwhelmed. And then I'm like, okay, this is not so bad. And then now that I'm doing His Eyes on the Sparrow, I'm like, what's a fat half of fabric anyways? Like essentially 2 fat quarters of fabric is a fat half. No big whoop. No big whoop. So that was February. Are you still with me? March. Oh, March. Okay, so in March, I started, it had been a year since the pandemic, right? Since a global pandemic was called. And the lovely Sarcy girl out of Winnipeg stitched a sampler last year, and then she made it available to all of us with the expectation that you would make a donation, right, to a charity. And of course, how could I not support my Canadian Stitcher Girl in Winnipeg? Now, I was going to use, I don't know, some fabric. And then I saw this fabric at my local store, my local stitching store. It is a Ship's Manor, and it's called Haunted Hollow. And I'll show you, it's like gray, brown. Can you see that? Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. So I said, I'm doing that. Now it's 28 counts. You know what that means? 1/1. Because I'm crazy and I like it. Okay. So, this is what I have done so far. It's not very much, but I did it just to get a feel for it. So that's what I have so far. And so when I saw that fabric in my local L&S, I said, well, let's go look at the overdyed cottons on the wall. So that's what I did. And so what I did was I took the DMCs and then I went and looked to see, excuse me, I need to do that. And to see what was in stock on the wall. And I just said, oh, I like that color for the DMC. Oh, I like that color for the DMC. Oh, like there's 500 DMC 500, 501, 502, 503. And so I kept the DMC 500, but I've added Classic Colorworks Deep Fennel, Cypress by Weeks, Seafoam by Weeks. My 2 flowers, I'm using Chili Pepper by Classic Colorworks and Clockwork by Weeks. I don't know if I can do this. Just have a moment. Anyways, I found, yeah, the only thing, I'm not feeling those yellows. Those yellows are not rocking my boat, let me tell you. The yellow, there's a light yellow there. I'm getting rid of that. And I'm just, but I've got, yeah, I'm just having fun with it. The blue, I'm using Twilight by Weeks Dye Works. And it looks fabulous right here. So that's one thing you can always do, right? You know, when you're having a hard time finding that overdyed cotton, is if you're in your L&S, you pull from the DMC wall that color, and then you go and look and see what's in stock. And then maybe you can find something that works for your project. This is how I discovered Mana Red was a good substitute for Country Redwood. So yeah, so that was Pandemic by Stitchergirl. That was great. Now oh yeah, this is not even worth showing. I'll have to put a picture in, but I wanted to do something Irishy on the 17th in March. So I found these free, now they are legitimately free patterns on Pinterest. Sometimes on Pinterest, there's a lot of copyright violations, so you gotta be very careful about it. If it doesn't say with compliments or free, then right there, that's red flag, copyright infringement. So these ones are all legit, and they're little shamrocks. Of course, 28 count. I'm doing it 1/1 again. This is a lovely Ship's Manor fabric. Oh, I'm not sure what color this one is, but look at it. Look at that variegation. It's kind of like a limey green, some olive green, bluey greens. A lot of fun. Anyways, it's perfect for Irish shamrocks. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch 4 across and make a little rectangle pillow. And I'm just using DMC for that. I'll put in a picture so you can see where that came from. Now, because it's been Stitch Asia, I have been working on my Halloween Quaker by Leela Studio. And, oh, this is not on a floss ring. Oh, God, I'm going to get fired. But I'm using all the called fors. The Classic Colorworks called for. I'm using the Murky 40 count Picture This Plus. I think a lot of people are always working on these, or rather working on this design. This is it here, Halloween Quaker. So I've been using it both for my dark 13 stitching and my Stitch Asia piece. And I was working my way down. This again has not been ironed because that's how I do things. So there you can see the witch's hat, the blue motif, and then I've been working my way down to where it says Happy Halloween to the bottom of the piece. So then I can cut it. There is a method to my madness. So see, I'm here, so I wanted to work my way down. This is such a popular design. So 1 thread over 2, Murky 40 count, because I'm a 40 count diva. So that's great. So I got through all my stitchy stuff, and we're at over an hour now. I do have haul. I think what I might do is do a separate haul video for you, and I'll let this one upload first. I'll edit it a bit and I'll upload it, and then in a couple of days time I will upload my haul, and there I'll talk about how you may remember that I did have a local store here in town, and the ladies decided to retire. So that was sad, but it was exciting for them because they're allowed to retire. That's okay. But out of that came 2 new shops. So now in the Moncton area, we have the Bug Stitch. I always feel like I'm going to say that wrong. The Bug Stitch. And we have, I did say it wrong. It's the Stitch Bug. It's the Stitch Bug, because y'all know you got a Stitch Bug. I got a Stitch Bug. The Stitch Bug, and then we have Seashell Stitching. So now we have 2 businesses local. One actually has a premises, and the other one does a lot of mail order. but they live like 5 minutes from me, so it's quite easy to go pick up and see what they have. So that's been a lot of fun for me. This is how I've been keeping my sanity in this prolonged pandemic, because I haven't seen my parents since November, and they live maybe 30 minutes away from me in another province. So I still haven't had my Christmas. This is the second year in a row, no Easter. They talked about an Atlantic bubble opening this week, but now they decided against it. And they said maybe May we're going to have it. So that would be right before Mother's Day, which would be really nice. But with these COVID variants, things keep changing. I have already had 1 dose of vaccine, and I will be getting my 2nd dose this week. My parents have both already had 1 dose. In Canada, the way it's going, the federal government doesn't control health per se. Each province has their own way of doing things. Canada. And so this is why you could be watching the news and you hear, well, in BC we're doing it this way, Ontario this way, New Brunswick this way. So each province has been a little different, and I think that's been frustrating. Ontario is going through an incredibly difficult time right now. So yeah, so that's where that's at. So I think I'll save my haul for next time. I'll talk about the new local needle workshops to me. Also, I'll show you my haul, and I'll also show you my Jane Austen box that I got from the Black Needle Society. That came in February. And as well, I got linen from the Wee Linen Company in Northern Scotland. That was very exciting, and I hope she's able to get some stock again soon, because I really did love the look of her linens. And I know Nicole of Hands Across the Sea, rather Nicola, Hands Across the Sea, has talked about them as well. So stock has been an issue for a lot of people. It's still hard to find certain overdyed thread colors and the like. So just make the best of it. Work with what you got. Work with what you can find, as long as you're having fun and enjoying yourself. So until next time, which will be much sooner, promise, I thank you for watching. If you're new here, please take a moment to subscribe so you can catch that haul update. And if you want, please do hit like, because that helps my channel grow. If there's one thing I would ask of you to do, is not only to be kind, but perhaps take the time and watch a Flosstuber who has less than 1,000 subscribers and show them some love, because they all the Flosstubes out there have some value, and I think it's important to support each other. This can take a bit of work, especially when you leave it for 4 months, but it's all very enjoyable to do, and it's great to catch up with everyone. So show some love. Watch somebody you've never watched before, especially if they don't have a lot of subscribers. Give them some love, give them some support, and be kind. And I will see you all again very soon. Take care.